careful. It is very rare that a financing question mixes up with taxes, but you have to be okay with it if it does show up. Okay, so here we go. 2007 Subaru at a dealership. We're dealing with a dealer, right? Has a base price of $13,899 plus tax. So we have to add taxes to it. There's a down payment of $1,800 required. The dealership is offering a rate of 6.75% over 5 years. Calculate the cost of the car plus tax. So you want to include taxes. So this is not, we're not told it's a new, but we're told it's at a dealership, so you know for sure that it's 12% taxes on everything. Okay, so I will call this used dealer, and I will simply go 13,899. What's the formula? It calls for a trade-in, right? There is no trade-in. So you simply include the taxes like that. And that ends up being $15,566.88. So your sticker price is essentially the price of the car, like that's it. Okay. So that's your final answer there. Next, the amount of loan required. So the loan is the amount borrowed, which is the price after tax minus the down payment. Okay. Hello. So it's $15,566.68 minus $1,800. That gives you $13,766.88. That's how much you will need to borrow at this point. Okay, page 30. Your monthly payment. For the payment, I usually go price minus down. Like I want to make sure that I figure out how much I need to borrow. And that gets multiplied by a dollar amount over 1,000. I already have the price minus the down, right? That's 13,000. That's essentially what we call the loan, okay? And where's that table? Page 32, right? We got to match 675 and 5 years. You should get used to that one. 6.75% over 5 years. That gives me 1969. Okay. It means that you're paying 1969 for every $1,000 of loan. And now you're going to figure out your payment. Oh, I told you to go 1969 divided by 1,000, multiply that by your loan. So your payment is $271.07 per month. We only deal with monthly payments in this unit, but really there are different, right? You could do monthly, weekly, bi-weekly. This is called the loan, right? This, yeah, you know that this is the loan, same number here, okay? It's the loan that you multiply that table rate by to get that. Next is the amount paid for the vehicle by the end of the 5 years. Amount paid for the vehicle by the end of the 5 years. That's not to the bank only, that is like in total. Total paid for car. This is the formula that I would like you to use. You take the total you pay the bank, I'm just going to call that total paid bank, plus any down payment that was put down. if it applies, right? Total paid to the bank, I would like you to know this one just for life. You take your payment, you multiply it in this case by 12, because there's 12 months in a year, and then you multiply that by 5, right? So this will give you how much you've paid the bank over 5 years, plus the down payment. And you get $6,264.70 plus $1,800. Something is wrong with my key. Can't be 18,000. No way. It's 8,000. Is it 20 or 70? I feel like I have to double check this one here. 271.07 times 12 times 5. Oh. It seems to be a Monday problem, guys. So this is 16,264.20. Make sure you correct that. Plus 1,800. And now we're talking. It's 18,064.20. My bad. So this is how much, if somebody asks you, hey, how much did you end up paying for that car? This is technically the right answer, because you're including the interest that you would have paid back over the 5 years. Okay, so don't tell your friends, oh, it was only 13,766, right? Or actually way up here, it was only 15,566. That's what you would like to say, but really, at the end of the day, it was more like 18,000. How much money in interest alone was paid? The total interest. This is the formula. You take your payment, you multiply that by 12, by the years, minus the loan. So it's 271.07 times 12 times 5. My loan is this, okay? It's the amount that you borrowed. If you multiply that all out, it's 16,264.20 minus 13,766.88. Okay, and so your total interest is this. $24.97.32. Why is it all crooked? There we go. What about the next one? Interest paid on the first month's payment. What's the formula for that one? I hope you have that one. I call that lowercase i's in my key often. It's not like the total interest, it's just that first month. And I usually go loan times interest rate divided by 100. All of that divided by 12. Please don't double divide your interest rate. Like if you turn that into a decimal, you're already done. So here, let's fill in. Our loan is what? It's, okay, just so you know, the loan is it's when you figure out the down payment, if there is one, it's that big number in front of that table rate. That is my loan, right? That's how much I've borrowed. So I'm gonna bring this down here. 13,766.88. I'm going to turn my interest rate into a decimal already and divide it by 100, and then I end up dividing all of that by 12. I equals PRT, that's what this is. Interest is principal times interest rate times time. And you're like, but you're dividing by time. Time is 1/12 here. Okay, that's why you're dividing by 12. There we go. On the very first month, out of your payment of $271, $77 is going to go towards interest. That's not paying off your debt. That's their profit. If you add optional equipment, which costs $1,500, what would have been the sticker price in this case? This is taking you back a little bit. Sticker would be base plus options plus, forget the order that I gave you, AC tax plus tire tax plus freight. All of that, you just add it all up. That's what sticker price calls for. In this case, it's just the base price, so you got to go way back before taxes were added. And then we just add the options here, the 1,500. Okay, and so that would have been 15,399. It's just to keep the sticker price alive, so you don't forget about it. That's why I threw this one in there. All right, so before we do the AC, I need you to have a couple of things on page 31 because the province will often ask for it. Or at least test your understanding of it. Could be a multiple choice scenario. So go to 31. So there are a couple of things. How can you reduce or lower the total interest paid? So how could someone pay less interest? And the key is to try to pay it off as fast as possible. Okay? So you can reduce the term or amortization. What do you mean with that? 3 years instead of 5 years, let's say. So if you tell the bank, no, I don't want to pay it over 5 years, I want to pay it over 3 years, that is good. That's going to save you interest. So make sure this is written down on page 31. The next one is make additional payments. Make additional payments. So you can either do a lump sum or set up extra payment. Anybody heard of lump sum before? Lump sum is just a big chunk. So let's say your birthday comes around and all your family members give you like $800 all combined. Sweet, right? You go to the bank, say $800, put it towards my loan. Right? That all goes towards paying off your loan. Set up an extra payment is when you tell the bank, you know what, my payment is $271 a month. Can you make an extra one like alongside that is like $50 a month as well? So you always have like two payments going on and it speeds it up, okay? I would suggest making that extra payment because if you make extra payments, you can always call them and say, I lost my job right now. Can you cancel that second payment? I can't afford it, and there's no problem at all because it's just like an optional thing you did, okay? You can also shop around for lower interest rate. For a car, you can sign a contract today and tomorrow go to a different bank and say, oh, there's a better interest rate. I want to transfer my loan over to that bank. With a house, it's different, okay? But with any loan, you can change anytime. Next one would be increase the down payment. Right? If you were able to put down a large amount right off the top, it's also going to save you interest. So these are basically the main 4 that I would suggest you have on there. This is to reduce the interest you've paid, okay, guys? But what if you want to just make sure your payment goes down? Your monthly payment, how to drop that payment. There's a lot of similarities. I will write them down. Increase down payment. Shop for lower interest rate. But here's where it gets different. Increase amortization. Take longer. If you forget the terms, use your own words. Okay? Take longer to pay off. It's like, hey, instead of 3 years, I want to pay it off over 5 years, please. The longer it takes, the smaller your payments are going to get. But you're going to pay more interest, right? I think that's it. I'm going to leave it at that. So add this to study sheet, right? Okay, like just make sure you know how to answer these ones. They're easy markers if you know what you're supposed to put down, okay? Okay, I'm going to stop here.